I'm Keith Banks, and welcome to Series 1 of Learning the Drum Set. In this session, we will start by learning the name of each drum pieces, the proper technique of holding the sticks, foot techniques, and finally, the different dynamics of each drums. So get on the drums and let's develop our understanding of the drums. The first thing we need to learn is the name of each drum pieces. Each drum piece has its own voice and special role in making music more dynamic. The three most important drum pieces that forms and builds all drum rhythms is the hi-hat, the kick drum, and the snare drum. These three drum pieces are considered the foundation of drumming. The other drum pieces that is used to add dynamics is the high tom, mid tom, low tom, the crash cymbal, the ride cymbal, and also I have a splash cymbal and a China cymbal. These extra cymbals are more of a user's choice. I believe one of the most important things for every drummer is learning how to properly hold the drumstick. This is essential because it plays a big part in developing your drumming. Incorrect grip can lead to long-term muscle pain and a limitation in gaining speed and power when playing the drums. Correct grip reduces tension and gives you the freedom to play with more speed, power, control, and endurance. Learning the right way to hold the drumsticks is one of the most neglected aspects of drumming in today. When you play the drums, the way you hold the sticks should be observed very carefully. It is important to determine the correct grip style early on in your playing so that you can develop more efficiently. There are three fundamental grips that are commonly used in drumming. The first grip is called the traditional grip. You commonly see jazz drummers using this style of grip. Let me show you how it works. The way you hold the sticks with the right hand is by placing the stick between the thumb and the index finger, like this. The second, third, and fourth fingers are placed on the stick to guide and control the stick. The left hand stick is held with the thumb sticking straight up, with the stick held in the gap between the thumb and the index finger. After the stick is placed in, simply close your top two fingers gently on the top of the stick. The stick should be loose in your hand like this. The next grip that's considered the most popular style is the match grip. With this, both hands hold the stick the same way. The match grip is very popular with all styles of drumming. The focus of the match grip, I believe, is the power stroke of the wrist. This grip is played with your palm facing downward. The way you hold the sticks with both hands is by placing the sticks between the thumb and index finger. The second, third, and fourth fingers are placed on the stick to guide and control it. Finally, there's the French grip. This is my favorite grip that I use all the time. The French grip offers speed and endurance with a totally different feel than any other grip. The French grip uses the fingers to control the rebound of the stick. Because you do not use the wrist as much, you will save a lot of energy. The French grip allows you to develop a greater speed, clarity, consistency, dynamics, stamina, and touch. The way you hold the stick is by placing it between the index finger and thumb and on top of the stick like this. Then you want to focus on controlling the rebound of the stick with the rest of the fingers. Notice how every fingertip is lightly rested on the drumstick. Make sure you do not grip the stick too tightly or you will limit its rebound. Now, I would like to show you the two most common bass techniques. This includes the heels up and heels down method. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages, so I recommend you learn both methods. The first one that I use the most is the heels up technique that is used more within various styles of drumming. The way you use this technique is by placing your feet on the part closest to the beater while having your heel up. This technique has a stronger attack using the leg for power while the ankle does the actual stroke of the pedal like this. Now we have the last method, which is the heels down method, which is commonly used in jazz. The heel down method is better for volume control and drum tone. This method is used by placing the whole foot flat on the pedal, using the ankle to do the stroke of the pedal like this. In deciding on which method to use is more of the user's choice, depending on what is more comfortable. I use both methods depending on the musical execution that I'm trying to achieve. However, my preferred and most frequent use is the heel up method. Both of these techniques work well for the beginner, and you should decide what works best for you. Now, I would like to show you the different dynamic strokes that are used on the snare drum, hi-hat, crash cymbal, and ride cymbal. Let's start with the snare drum. The snare drum has 3 different dynamic strokes. The first and highest dynamic stroke is called the rim shot. This is the most popular stroke used for high energy drumming. The rim shot stroke is a combination of hitting the rim of the snare and the center of the batter head. It sounds like this. The second stroke is the power center stroke. This stroke is commonly used in marching or concert drumming. This is played by hitting the center of the batter head. It sounds like this. The last stroke is the cross stick stroke. This stroke is mostly used on ballads. This is played by resting the stick on the batter head and hitting only the rim of the snare. As you can see, I have turned my stick around and I'm using the butt of the stick to hit the rim of the snare. It sounds like this. Now, let's talk about the hi-hats. There are 4 different strokes that you can play on the hi-hat. The first one is the tip of the hi-hat, played like this. The second one is the raw edge of the hi-hat, played like this. The third one is the open crash method. And the fourth one is the bell of the hi-hat. Now we move to the crash and ride cymbal. Notice carefully that I'm going to use the same method for doing the strokes on the crash cymbal and the ride cymbal. The first stroke is the crashing of the crash cymbal, played like this. The second stroke is hitting the tip of the cymbal. The last stroke is hitting the bell of the cymbal. Also, you can use the same method on the ride cymbal. The first method, the second method, the third method. Hi, welcome to session 2 on how to play the drums. In this dynamic session, we will start off learning the 5 fundamental basic rudiments that make all sticking and strokes. Secondly, we will learn the essential counting system of notations. And lastly, we will play our first drum beat. So if you're ready, get your sticks and let's start our dynamic drumming. The first rudiment is the single stroke roll. This is the most commonly rudiment that is used on the drum set. Here is how the sticking is notated. Right, left, right, left. This is how it sounds a little bit faster.